The adventures of Gustav H. and Zir Mustafa at the famous hotel in the fictional republic of Zubrowka between the First and Second World Wars. This is my review of the Grand Budapest Hotel. So I had this movie on my DVR because I heard from a lot of critics and from some of the YouTube critics as well that this movie was really good. But I had low expectations when I watched this movie on my DVR because I saw two other Wes Anderson movies before this one. And those two other movies would be The Life Aquatic and Moonrise Kingdom. I saw The Life Aquatic when I was 8 years old. I did not like that movie at all and I still don't like it. And I saw Moonrise Kingdom a year ago and I thought that movie was okay. So going into this movie, I thought it was just going to be your average movie. But surprisingly, after seeing the movie on my DVR, I have to tell you guys that I thought this movie was fantastic. The good points. The main reason that I was surprised and thought that this movie was fantastic was because of Wes Anderson. And the reason I say that he was the main reason is because his directing and his writing in this movie was very clever in my opinion. The two other movies that I mentioned before that were directed and written by Wes Anderson, I didn't click with. But in the Grand Budapest Hotel, I thought that his directing and writing was clever in a way where it just clicked with the grinds in my head. And between the directing and the writing, I think I liked the writing more than the directing. And that's because I found the writing to be very original. And the way the story was written I thought was clever. I also liked the characters that were written into the story as well. And as for the directing, even though it's the same old Wes Anderson direction, where you can tell, like, oh yeah, this is a Wes Anderson movie, I still found it to be clever in a way where it's a little bit different from his other movies that I saw that were directed by him. And I can't put my finger on what the difference was, but there was something different. Maybe it was just the story in general that made this movie different from the other two movies that I saw that were written and directed by him. And I thought that Wes Anderson did a good job of knowing where to put the drama and where to put the comedy in this movie as well. And I loved the comedy in this film because I laughed almost every single time a joke was presented to me. And of course, since this is a Wes Anderson movie, there has to be an all-star cast. And everyone's performances ranged from good to terrific. But the one person that I thought did the best job was Ralph Fiennes, and some people say Ray Fiennes, but I think it's Ralph Fiennes. I liked his character a lot in the film, and I liked the actor who played the younger version of Zero. And I think I liked his character because of Zero's interaction with Gustav, who is played by Ralph Fiennes. And I thought that their chemistry together was great. Usually I don't love production or costume designs. I mean, if it's good then I'll mention it in my reviews. But if it's average then I won't mention it at all. But for this film, I thought the production and costume designs were really cool. And I think the reason I say that is because of its authentic feel to it. When you look at this film and when you see all these different scenes with these different sets and everything, you feel like you're in this period of time between World War I and World War II. And the only three other things I have to say that were good in this movie were the editing because I thought the pacing was done well, the cinematography since the movie was shot in a crisp way, and the makeup and hairstyling since it added more authenticity to this film to make it look like it was in the middle of World War I and World War II. Are there any bad points about this movie? Well, there are two nitpicky things that I've thought of about this movie. But those two nitpicky things are really, really small, where it's not worth a quarter deduction. So in the end, I'll have to give the Grand Budapest Hotel a 4 out of 4 stars. This is definitely not a movie for everyone in my opinion. Because if you're not a person that's into artsy movies, then you won't like this movie. And if you're not a person that's into slow movies either, because for some people they may think that some parts of this movie are slow. But I thought what made this movie what it was the cleverness by Wes Anderson and his storytelling and direction that he presented into the movie. So that was my review of the Grand Budapest Hotel. Hope you guys liked it, and other than that guys, that's it.